Welcome to Playstore. Today we're just going over basic phone operations. We might get into reviewing a couple apps, but basically I'm just going to go through the process of what I will be doing on a daily basis. In no random order, let's begin. So first of all, I do my recording and streaming via an app called DU Recorder, which is no longer available in Playstore. You would have to get the APK offline, and there are several different versions I use. Currently, we're using 2.1.5, and in that version, it gives you the watermark for free, the themes, the brush tools. You can do a customized watermark for recording, and then you can do a custom watermark for live streaming. And this app is free, once again, but you can't get it at Playstore. It's called D Recorder. It's one of the apps that I've been using for years and years. But I've encountered some problems, and we'll get into those problems later. I'm just going to navigate around my phone. So the challenge has been trying to organize my Galaxy S7 with Android 7.0, and there's a lot of kind of new different settings. Well, maybe not new, but slightly different, more advanced, like especially in your lock and security. Because it's enabled with Knox, which is an advanced like Samsung security feature. It has a lot of, I'm trying to find Knox. Anyways, Knox is just the advanced Samsung version of security, and with Knox you get the ability to customize your security features. So you go into settings and you want to go to lock screen and security. I have it set with a fingerprint. Most people use fingerprints. It's more secure. And then they have something called secure folder, which you can access from the short menu. Whoops. So in the short menu, most of the features are on, and the secure folder is actually on. So when I turn it off, when it's deselected and it's gray, it means that my apps are not protected. So all these apps that I use, which are, engage personal information, data, pictures, videos, account information, etc., all those apps are not protected. The nice feature about secure folder is you can just go swipe down on your top, turn it on, and if you want to use it, you go to your app settings and you go to secure folder, and you can secure it with a pin, a pattern, or however you want to do it. So I have nothing to hide at this point. We're in demo version. So this is how it looks when all your apps are locked. You have a little app icon, and it still keeps your home screen the same without the badges, just so you know. So you just have to remember you're in secure folder mode once you turn it on, and it will remain in that mode. Now, you can also secure a fingerprint in Knox, where it says fingerprint scanners, secure lock settings. So I can enter the current PIN. And I could decide how to lock it. So secure, I have it set to 30 seconds. Screen lock, pin, fingerprints. So those are customizable, which is a nice feature. And you do use the same Samsung Pass account for that. And you have the option to back up to cloud, or you can back up to Google. So we're running Android 7. And my current challenge is I'm always running out of space. Always running out of space. So I have several file managers. And I've been testing the file managers out. Meaning that, I made a screen just for this video of file managers. Now where's my special screen? Here it is, I passed it. So these are the file managers that I use, minus one, which is the one I've been using for many, many years. And we're not going to go over that. And why I'm not using it is just sometimes you need change. You start to find out real subtle things that happen over time. So I'm going to start with RS File Manager. So like when you go to a good file manager, actually I'm going to start with CX, this one right here. It has your basic features. It shows you your internal storage, your main storage, your SD card, your system storage, your downloads, your apps, your cycle bin. Then it shows you the library, the types of stuff you have, your images, your audio, your videos, your document, your new files, then your network, whether you want to choose from computer, or like you can set up a FTP server, or you can go add an external drive, like being such as cloud accounts. Now if you notice up here, I'm at 97%, and I'm always wondering what is taking up all the space. So I just analyze it, and there it tells me. So thumbnails are being created, and that's something that you can't prevent. Your phone will just do that, apps will do that. But they take up a gig of space, and I just cleared them out like an hour ago. So how do you regulate your main storage not getting totally filled? Well, you have to maintain it, and there's no magical all-in-one trick, because you're using combinations of apps and they work differently, but some work together. So independently, I just use a file manager app to go in and maintain, moderate, and refresh my settings. So I always clear the cache first. Then I go to the large files, which happens to be this thumb data. Now where's the thumb data stored? So how I find out is I click on it, I go to properties down here, and that will tell me the exact location. Now if you notice, it's not on my main storage, it's not on my SD card, but it's in my emulated storage. And a lot of people don't know that Android has an emulated folder, which you might think is your internal storage, but it's actually internal storage within the internal storage. And it basically emulates the Android system. And it's hidden. So I'm just going to delete it because I don't need those thumbnails. Basically, it's duplicates of every single image or document, etc., that falls into the category of a thumbnail. So I will delete it and free up almost a gigabyte of space. Now if I go back to my main storage, it still says 97% is full. Well, how do I get to the emulated storage? Still 97% full. Well, in this, it only gives me the main storage, right? And every folder that's like a very light yellow is hidden, and then the solid yellow means there's stuff in it. So this is just what a basic internal storage looks like on any Android device. Now, if you notice, there's only certain folders that have badges now with the bundled with the operating system, and they happen to be cloning apps, or I should say AI. Snapchat, WhatsApp, and Messenger should be on here, and Facebook, but they're not. They don't have the badges. But because Snapchat and Messenger, I'm actually running those apps, they have badges because they have multitasked, multi-layered messaging tasks that they're doing even while you're not using the actual app. So back to the point of not being able to find how to get to the emulated storage. So because it shows me my main storage on my SD card, like my SD card is 83% full, my main storage is 97% full. But even when I click on and I do the analyzation, whoops, what I should say, if I do, it should show me a graph chart. Okay, there it is. It's only showing in the green. If you notice, the dark green is showing where the most concentration of storage is occupied. But if you notice, it only says like 201 megabytes. Here it's 92 point something, 80 megabytes. Here it's 0.3 megabytes. Now that only adds up to like 3 or 4 gigs, but the phone has 32 gigabytes. So where's that other 28 gigabytes of storage being used? And that's in the emulated folder. And in CX File Explorer, you cannot see the emulated folder. So for that sake, and because this device is not rooted, we're going to use a different file manager. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've chose 9 of my favorite file managers. So one, for a simple, quick, know where your main storage and SD cards, I choose CX File Explorer. That's choice number 1. And as we go along, we'll go higher up the categories as far as more in depth. And then there's an app called Amaze, and it has amazing features. So let's go in there. Now, it's a little different, but usually on any file managers, you have your right and left swipe. Now here, it is showing my external SD card, which is really internal, the micro SD. It's showing it as external storage, and it's showing the internal storage as emulated. So still there's one storage missing, because there is your internal storage, your emulated storage, then your SD card. So then it breaks it down, your basic categories, DCIM, downloads, movies, music, pictures. But it's only showing 2 storages. Now, in the settings, I can sort however I want. I can go into directory. So basically what it's doing is it's just showing you the emulated storage, right? But it's giving this bin number. And that 6466-3464 is actually, this is actually my SD card. So there's still a storage before that, which is the emulated storage that I want to clear out, because I don't want to clear out my SD card. I want to clear out my internal storage. So how do we get there? So if you notice, it actually does show you the emulated storage, okay? So this is the emulated storage, and let's look at the history. That just shows you where I went to last. So this is not the greatest in the sense that I can't analyze where the majority of the storage is being occupied. It's just showing me what's in the emulated storage. So if I can view it differently, yes, I can grid view it like that. But I want to see the file size, and not every single file manager automatically gives you the file size. Usually you have to click on it to get the properties, and that's how you'll know how much space it takes up. So just by that one folder alone, that takes up 25.9 gigabytes. Oh no, I'm sorry. It takes up 8.64 megabytes. And it's in the emulated storage, okay? So if I swipe over to the right, to the left. Wait, let me put it in list view. I mean, not swipe, but arrow back. I go there. That's going to show me what's on my SD card, and I already know that. So the point of what I'm trying to get to is that to see, once again, like what's on your main storage, even though you don't see the emulated folder separated from the internal storage as one and the same, you can still see, based on the paths, where each folder is. The majority, okay? So even though you can't see the file size, you can see the folders in the emulated storage. But I'm going to jump out of this app because I want to get to something a little bit better. So Amaze it's been used. A lot of people like it. It has good reviews, bad reviews, but there are certain parts of Amaze that I like. I'm going to go to File Explorer. This is my newest favorite app. It doesn't show the emulated, but I just like the customization of it. So for example, you can change the colors how you want. If you click on the top right, there's settings up there where it gives you the customization feature. So if you want to change your theme, I had it purple and green, so I'm going to just change the accent color to yellow. Okay, purple and yellow. So once again, it has this side swipe menu, your home storage, and I like how that shows you the percentages right there. It shows you your internal storage. It shows you your SD card. And this is verbatim. And then your phone. So that is your phone storage, right? So this is like, when I say, even though this is not a rooted device, it does show you the root folders. It shows you your phone, your internal storage, your SD card, and your phone storage. Now here it's giving me the exact file size, which is wonderful. So now I know what's really taking up my space, because technically 97% of my internal storage is taken. So my apps are taking up 1.12 gigs. A bin, whatever that is taking almost 1 gig. Then I got these little guys down here. That's not much. We scroll up. Then I got what is etc. etc. And then I got little stuff, right? That's not much. Then I got fonts. That's 75% to a gigabyte. Framework, that's half a gigabyte. Then I got hidden files, that's like 5 megabytes. Then we have library, 226 megabytes, and then the 64 engine. And then media, and then private apps, that's taking up almost 2 gigabytes. What are the private apps? Those are files that I put in private mode, which I forgot the pin. And be very careful, if you use private mode on any Samsung Galaxy phones, don't forget your pin or pattern, because if you want to reset private mode, you're going to have to factory restore. deleting the cache data from the fingerprint scanner app doesn't reset the private mode if you set up a fingerprint in private mode. So there's two extra security features with Samsung devices. I highly recommend any and all Samsung devices. There's secure folder and private mode, and this is on Android OS 7.0 and up. So then we got, it goes down and there's more and more. So these extra files are taking up the space, but this is the phone file, so you don't want to go deleting those folders. You want to try to clean up the internal storage. Now, it shows you the Android system, but within the system, there are a lot within the data. So like if you go to your Android folder on your phone, internal storage, okay, and then you click on it, double click into it. If you go into data, and then you double click on it, it's going to show you all of your apps. And like say if you use video recording apps, or you use like video editing apps, or you play games that take up a lot of space, they will store big MP4 files, MP3 files, libraries of different files within the actual COM folder of the app, which is located in the data of your Android internal storage. So for example, com.du recorder is where this is the phone app, and it decides to save its movies in the COM folder, not onto your... I can set it to my SD drive, which I do have it set, but if my movies were set to the internal storage, they would be going in the COM folder. So once again, whoops. If you're in your internal storage and your Android, some apps in the data folder, some apps store their information within their individual apps. Like I say, Do Apps is the COM folder for DU Recorder, and they store, if you don't change it to SD card, it stores it in that folder in there. So I have it set to my SD card, and then I go into Android, data, same file structure. I find the COM folder for DU apps right here, files, and there are my movies, Record Master. So these are all my MP4s down here. These are saved like full MP4 files there. Half a gig, almost a gig, 20 megabytes, almost 300 megabytes. So they take up a lot of space. Now that's why I use an SD card. So this file manager can get to the roots of stuff. Even though you're not rooted, you can see the file size, you can see your internal storage, your SD card, your Android, the phone, actual phone storage, which is different than your internal storage. And then you could see your user apps, all the ones that you download and install. You can see your system apps. This is a great little file manager. And then your processes. This is a great little file manager. And then it organizes down here where you can swipe right to left your most recent media. So these are all like my screenshots, images, okay, and then more. You can see it you can sort it how you want it. If you don't want to see it as blocks, you can sort it as a list. That way you can see the date and the time, and you know exactly when it was taken and how big it is. So I highly recommend this app right here. It's called File Explorer. Great little app. And these all you get at Google Play Store. So we looked at CX, we looked at File Explorer, we looked at Amaze. Now there's more coming up. This is not my third favorite, but one of my favorite apps that happens to be third, because I can't put my favorite app as number one because I like the other apps equally. They're just different. Every app has its unique. So this file manager, when you open it, it looks almost just like the other one, but a different color. But it actually can do a little bit more. It's a little bit more thorough in the labeling of the data that's inside the actual file manager. So you don't see the emulated storage up here, but you do see the internal storage and the SD card, and you can analyze it, right? And this is a beautiful feature, the way they break it down. Now, I still have tons of room on my SD card. Actually, I don't. I take that back. But I look and I see, well, gee, there's 4.62 gigabytes of recent files. And if you look, they're grayed out. So these are all the files that are like stored on my phone that are taking up space. Now, do I need them? They were created within 7 days. I mean, you really can get down and deep into the path, the date, the name. You can analyze it, what sort, and so on. But literally, okay, because it analyzed from my internal storage, right? Wait. I hit the little red icon. Yeah, there we go. Recent files. So this is just internal storage. Now, the partitions are broken up into the external storage and the emulated folder. Now, this is where, and even though this device is not rooted, it's showing me my files like a rooted device would, or a rooted file manager. And there's some very excellent root browsers and root file managers out there for Android currently. So those two, show you my emulated storage is taking up 1.24 gigs. Okay. And this 6466464, this is actually my SD card. But here is the ticket, here's the clicker, here is the juxtaposition, here is the crux of this live stream. This SD card is formatted as an internal storage. You can also format your SD card as an external portable storage. So the way it's mounted as internal storage. Now, if I would have formatted the SD card properly, which I didn't, I would format it as external storage. So even though it's showing that I'm 97% full, I really have space because it's an SD card. It's kind of complicated, but because my SD card, micro SD, is already mounted, and I'll show you that in settings. You go to settings, you go to storage, and you click on storage, and it'll show you, like, below, I still have 10 gigabytes left on my SD card. Just give it a moment to think. What was that? Give it a moment. Okay, well, maybe it cannot connect with that. Okay, so it's showing me all the apps that I rarely use, right? And it's true. I have them installed. Most of them I used to use, but because I'm working on special projects, I'm not working now. Then it has occasionally used. So technically, because I have these, now this is Samsung's storage. It's file manager, I should say. Because I have the APKs backed up, I could uninstall them. But there's always comes a point where I want to use the app, so I just keep them on the phone because I can. Not for any good reason. Other than the fact that I can and I have the space. Yeah, it makes things cluttered, but oh well. So that's just another way to look at your storage, and if I click on my SD card, it shows you exactly how much. Anyways, so it's showing me how many apps, and I can bump the apps off the SD card if I need to, but right now I'm still concerned. So I'm going to go back to the file managers. I'm just browsing over them. I would go more in depth, but I'm just trying to get you to see some of the apps that I'm using currently. So if we go back to that window, so we looked at RS. Now I really, really, really highly recommend this app, you guys. It is fabulous. It's simple. And it gives you the network feature and the tools. Yeah, you have to upgrade for certain things, but the network and the tools that are free in this app, I highly recommend. It's easy to navigate, it's colorful, it's bright. It gives you your basic breakdown, and you can make bookmarks and, movies, images, documents compressed. Add, you can download the Root Explorer. Obviously I have to upgrade to premium, but it's a great little app. So on to the next, we shall look at, that was RS File Explorer. It's this little guy right there, and then okay, so here is, now there's two on the top. These two that I think I'm going to save for the next stream because they're way over the top. Very, very, very in depth. They're more like along the lines of an app called Explore File Manager. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that app. But I'm just going to go over two more. So this file manager, it's called EX or X. It's kind of a newer one, just one I ran into. It looks very similar to the other ones. Images, videos, audio, documents, downloads, archives, transfer. And you can do an STP transfer, which I already set up with my PC. But for some reason, I cannot get the FTP server app running. Meaning, to me, it's just too many digits, too many paths, too many folders. I get confused easily. I don't know about you guys. You guys might have it down pat. But not only can you transfer to a PC, you have a cast queue. Say if I want to cast to my PC, it shows you that in this manager, your network and cloud, your Wi-Fi share, your library, connections, what mobile connections you have. You can add a connection if you choose to, an FTP, a box, a OneDrive, a Dropbox, a Google Drive. Now, I haven't added any of those, but I have them and I would like to at some point. But I just wanted to just show you briefly how the app navigates. So you have your internal storage. But if you notice, it looks just like the other app, RS File Explorer. The way the folders are laid out, it gives you either the grid view or the same kind of design. Well, we are getting to an app that's going to be slightly different as far as design-wise, and that's why I'm saving it for last. Got your SD card. Do I give it access? Yes, you can have access. So I have to click on it. SD card. Select. Okay, so now I can see what's on my SD card. You always have to grant it access, and there's a lot of folders. Now, some of these I've already backed up to my PC. And then your phone storage, once again. The app, the bin, the etc. files, the fake library, the hidden, the private, the media, and all those other files that are just part of the system. So, then root. But your phone is not rooted. So it shows you. And look at all the processes are running. So let's clean up the RAM. This is a nice feature. You tap on it once and it does it for you automatically. So we just cleared up, only 10 or 12 megabytes, but it's better than nothing. The other apps, when you tap on the process analyzation feature, it doesn't instantly clean up the process. You have to go in and manually select. So that's just, and here it shows your media, recent media. You can't sideswipe. It only gives you a limited recent media. As far as the other one, you could infinitely scroll left or right on your recent screenshots / camera shots, whatever you're taking a picture of. So that's File Manager Explorer. And it does have a little bit more as far as the transfer feature, the network cloud feature, the processes, you can see it firsthand right there. The recent, go back, whoops, I went back too far. The recent, then we want the images, and it shows you for every single app how much is storing. And is it on the SD card? Is it on internal? Now, once we're in images, it would be nice to see that split up, right? Which ones, because they're just blocks to us. It just looks like blocks. Which are on the SD card, we don't want to go in and manually select one by one which box is on the internal or the SD card. So that's how it lays it out, and then it shows you archives, okay? These are the zipped. Anyways, that's a halfway decent app, but let's go to my favorite new file manager, and it's called File Manager. The way it's laid out is nice, and we're almost hitting 40 minutes, so we're going to end this stream soon. So this is File Manager. Ta-da! Look at that. I love the colors. I'm all about the colors, guys. So this is your basic layout. You can swipe right to left from your home to your internal. It is absolutely, I love this feature, the way it's designed. Now where's my SD card? And then look at that. Look at that. This is your home folder right there. You know exactly which drive is on. You got your home. Swipe over. You got your internal. Swipe over. You got your SD card. Your external. External, meaning my real SD card. And then my cloud. Look at all those. Look at all those. Look at all those. Google Drive, Dropbox, OneBox, Box, Mega Cloud, Yandex, Sugar, WebDAV, MediaFire, FTP, STP. This is the only file manager that I have seen that allows all those connections. It's a great app, you guys. I highly suggest you download this app today. And then you could add a cloud storage, like I just said. And then, let's see here. You got your collections. If you make a collection. And how do you make a collection? I don't know. I suppose over here somewhere, somehow. I bet you it's a premium feature. But this is nice. It breaks it down for you. So you can long press on a menu item and drag it to sort it. So it's long press. Long press. So, whoop-de-wah, I put my videos before the music. Okay, let's long press. I want to put the photos before the music. Then I want to swipe up. I want to put the documents before the APKs. This is a really nice feature, you guys. Okay, I'm going to put my downloads before here. And then it has a safe box, an app manager, and then you can add whatever you want. This is a great app, you guys. Now, if you notice on the top, the way it breaks it down. Oh, gosh. Darn it. Okay, you have to, I guess I have to give it a hint. Whatever. Dude, it's not even... What is going on? Oh, maybe because I'm in secure folder. Okay. Anyways, let's go back. Let's go back. It's File Manager. This one right here. That's what it looks like, you guys. So when you go to Playstore, this is the app that you want to find. It's called Smart File Manager. Okay, anyways, I was in down here. Now, do you see how complex this gets, you guys? Look at it. Look at how this breaks it down. This is unbelievable. This app is unbelievable. I'm just going to put it like there. I'm going to end the video. I would love if you guys download Smart File Manager and play with it. I guarantee you'll love it. Thank you for watching Google Play Store Reviews. We'll see you next time.